Welcome to lesson 3 of Foundations of Social Media Advertising, why you cannot ignore social media advertising. So here's a few stats for you. 96% of people visited or used a social network or messaging service in the past month. 96%. 77% actively engaged with or contributed to social media in the past month. An average amount of time per day spent on using social media was 1 hour and 50 minutes. The average number of social media accounts per user was 7.1. So if you think about that, you've got Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, Snapchat, TikTok, WhatsApp, Facebook Messenger, Instagram, like all of these things, they do add up. 13% of internet users who use social media for work purposes. Okay, so really that's going to be LinkedIn, or you're having a personal brand on Instagram, Facebook, etc. All these stats play into what we were just talking about. You know that your business needs an online presence, and people's attention is on social media. People's attention is on their smartphones, whatever the time of day. But, as I mentioned before, did you know your organic social media posts are probably reaching under 5% of your followers? And slaving away and spending hours crafting organic content for no one to see and engage with is no way to run your business. People get lost in that rat race of thinking, okay, I need to be busy, I need to market myself, I'm going to create loads of social media posts, loads of stories. And that quickly hits a ceiling, as well as actually not delivering the results you're looking for, which is ultimately more customers and revenue. Here, break down the global ad spend by percentage of total spend across 2020. This is by Zenith Optimedia. 2019 was the first year social media advertising outstripped print media. That means newspapers, magazines, etc. and global spend. And this was before coronavirus. Okay, so imagine these numbers have drastically changed across 2020. Zenith Optimedia predict this trend will continue, and social media advertising will continue to grow at a rate of 20% year on year. Again, like this might have completely turned up in its head since coronavirus hit, and really where people can spend now is social media and search. Print media has pretty much been obliterated, and this is also why you'll see a lot of newspapers attacking social media platforms regularly, because they're eating into their business model. Okay, they've done it and better. Radio's still around, and also you've got podcasts disrupting that avenue. And then the other things are like leaflets, outdoor, out of home again, which has taken a big hit this last year. This growth in social media and search engines actually rising up and stealing share away from the others is attributed to small and medium-sized businesses shifting and increasing their budgets to take advantage of the targeting and localization capabilities offered by platforms like Facebook. When spending on stuff like TV or print or radio, it's hard to actually target the people who are exactly right for you. Yes, certain programs and channels have demographics, but not as laser targeted as you want them to be or need them to be. And the cost of entry is huge and simply cannot afford it. It's a big barrier to most small businesses. Social media and search, they're available for basically £1 to start off with, and you can scale with it, and it gives you those results up front. This just shows you simply the growth of Facebook's advertising revenue worldwide, 2009 to 2019. So that last one there is $69.7 billion, and I'm sure that's grown again. It's just why this is because it's fast, it's cheap, it's precise, it's measurable, and it's scalable. Okay, important to note those last two, measurable and scalable. Measurable, you can literally measure everything real time down to every single penny that is spent and break it down in multiple different ways to see what's working for you. You can't do this with other advertising platforms. You can't do this with traditional marketing. Scalable. If you want to increase the spend and increase the results, it generally does go up in a positive trend like this. Even more so, the more you spend, the more the algorithm knows and understands what your audience is like, and it can reach more people. Actually, the performance tends to improve as you scale and you understand the platform and the algorithm more. Also, social media advertising is a proven brand builder over the last decade. You're looking at companies like Gymshark, Candy Crush, Boohoo, Skyscanner, Airbnb, Wish, Simba, Huel, and many, many, many more, who have really, their bread and butter and the rocket fuel behind their growth has been social media advertising to target people and retargeting people that are engaged with them already. Okay, it's getting people to become a customer quicker and more effectively and more scalably. With these numbers, they can then take that to seek more finance because they know the cost to acquire a customer. They know if they put X amount in at the start of their marketing budget, it spits out this number Y because they can measure things every single step of the way. So just to recap this section, you cannot ignore social media advertising any longer. And I think because you're in the academy, you already know this. It's a more efficient use of budget compared to other traditional channels. It is established, but actually we're still in the early days. There's still growth. There's still going to be more platforms. There's still going to be improvements upon the advertising platforms, especially with the platforms outside of the Facebook ecosystem. It has essentially been the rocket fuel behind billion-dollar brands built this decade.